So unfortunately, you have two contents. So in today's lecture, I explain about the C pro language, file input output, and I have to introduce the next final third homework report. Okay. So fortunately, next week lecture will be cancelled, so you have enough time to prepare such a homework report. Okay. So and I also introduced one concrete application examples about image processing. So of course we don't have such enough time to explain the two content. So I will only show the actual program to treat image processing images. Okay. So today's contents as shown here. First, I introduce file input output. What is the file input output? And I will also introduce some standard functions, especially for treating the file I/O operation. And after that, I will also show some example programs actually using such functions. And so, especially, I have to focus one standard function, fget function. So this is very convenient, useful. So however, somehow it's difficult to use this function, so I focus on especially this function. Okay. And after that, I will introduce today's exercise. Okay. So already you know you can be taught some input or output functions using the keyboard input. So however, you have the huge data. So such data, of course, it's impossible to enter such data by keyboard input. In such cases, usually such data is prepared in a file system as a one file. So such cases, you have to use a file input function in your program to enter such data from the file system. Okay? So as shown here, after reading, using such a file input function, the contents of the file, of course, are not changed. So your program treats huge data, and such data, all data you need, if you need, you have to store such data into any file. Okay? So in this case, you have to use a file output function. Okay? So in this case, as shown here, after writing, the content of the file will be changed, of course. Usually, initially, the content of the file is empty. However, after reading any data into such a file, the content will be changed. And also, the size also will be changed. So, smaller or larger. So mainly, there are two types of data stored in file. Text file, usually called ASCII file, and binary file. Okay? So this is an example. So this is a content example of a text file. And this is a content example of a binary file. So as you see, you can understand the contents if the content is a text file. Contrary, the binary file, you cannot understand the contents. So because these are usually any binary code, byte code, usually byte code or octodecimal code. Hexadecimal code. So maybe as you know, the hexadecimal code, F means 15. Okay? E means 14. Okay? A means 10. Okay? So to hexadecimal code, you can treat 1 byte, 0 to 256 5. Okay. So as you here, the text or binary is distinguished as a unit of reading and writing is each line. So this should show the complete standard functions, library functions, dedicated for the file input-output function, file input-output operation. Okay? So first you have to use the fopen, and finally you have to use the fclose. Before using the file input-output functions, you must open such a file using fopen function. And after the end of the operation about the file input-output, you have to use the fclose function to completely close the function, the file system. Even you don't use the fclose function, the operating system don't know if such a file already closed or no. So after that, you cannot treat such a file. So there are two types: input file operation and output file operation. So many functions. However, it's easy to understand. So C means character. So you can read the content of the file by character by character, one character by character, a character one by one. Okay. S means sentence. So using these functions, you can read the one line in a text file. Okay. So however, these functions, you cannot use these functions for binary data, binary file. Instead of this function, you have to use the fread function. This is dedicated for binary data in a file. Okay? So fscanf function also important. The basic mechanism is almost the same as the scanf function or scanf functions. In these cases, you can usually, if you use scanf functions, the original data is entered from the keyboard. So however, using scanf functions, you can enter data for scanf function from the contents of the file. Okay? So for output file operation, the same number of functions exist. So as it's easy to understand. You can easily understand. Fget is corresponds to fput. Okay. So this is for reading, mean the input file operation. Contrary, this is dedicated for the write any character data to a file. Okay. So because C, this means character, and also fput, the function is almost same. However, the reading, writing unit is a sentence, similar to this fget. Okay. And if you have to treat the binary data, you have to use the fwrite function to output the data into any file. Okay. So fprint function also the same functionality of the printf function. Usually, printf function output string data on the computer screen. Instead of the computer screen, using this function, you can output any string into a file. Okay. So today, I only introduce only 3 example programs using the file input-output function. This is the first one. So this program is following data, as here, from a text file, and display first column data this day, first column data name. That means the Q dai taro. And third column data address. Third column is this, and the address is here, Kashihama 11. Okay. So, of course, you have to use. If you put the several strings in one line, as the separators, you have to put any space. Okay. This is the actual program of the previous one. Okay. So to make and execute the previous program, you have to prepare the data, text data, like this. Of course, you can prepare text file data using a text editor. Any data you can use any text editor. Okay. So once you have to prepare this text file, content as shown here. Okay. So, and for example, you have to save this file as a book1.txt as its name. Okay. So gradually I explain each line. The content is completely same as the previous actual program. These are definition for any variable. Okay. So especially for strings, using character data type as array data, line name, path, address. These variables are all for strings. And this is important. You have to prepare file type, capital file. This is a special symbol, especially for this type of the data. Actually, using fopen function, you can open any file, corresponding file. Its return value is a file pointer. Okay. Usually, you can define a file pointer like this. Special type file. Okay. And file pointer is a pointer. So you have to put asterisk top of the variable name. Okay. And using fopen function, you can open by specifying the file name, book1.txt. Okay. And you have to also specify the read or write. So by specifying this string, only R character string, mean the read. So this file pointer is dedicated for a read file. Okay, specified by this file name. And if such file does not exist or impossible to open such a file, then this function returns null string. Okay, so this means any error occurs. Okay, so in such cases, this program just return. Okay, and otherwise, this file, fortunately, safely opened. So using while sentences, you can get the contents of the opened file by line using fget function. S means the sentence, line by line. Okay. So using fget function, you have to specify 3 arguments. The first argument is a string data, a string variable. Actually, let data is stored into this variable, string type variable. And this is size at once, this function, how many characters can read and store. In this case, 100. And this is file pointer. Of course, you have to prepare file pointers. And after that, just a moment. So this function also returns null string if this operation any error occurred in this operation. Okay, so exclamation mark and equal means not logical operator. Okay, so if this function does not return null, so safely this function can be treated. In such cases, line, invariable line, the contents are safely read data from a corresponding file specified by this pointer. Okay, so this case, the program can treat this line scan functions. So this is a somehow different. So the capital letter is the S. Okay, so S means the string data. So original, the source of the scan function is the string data. So first you have to specify such a string data as the first argument. Okay, so using a format string, you can enter. You can enter any content of this string into corresponding variables. Okay, so these three variables are also string data type. So using this format string, the first string and second string and the third string are stored into name and birth address variables separately. Okay? So no difficulty. And finally, using printf function, this program outputs this string on a computer screen. So in format string, the %s and %s, this is a code for storing data. So actually, content of these variables are assigned this code data. Okay? As I explained, so finally you have to use the fclose function to actually close the function. Okay? In fact, this is very important in some cases. Sometimes, unfortunately, once open file, if you in your program, the open file will be not closed permanently. So usually such file will be affected by the operating system or other programs, and sometimes such data will be damaged. Okay. So the meaning of null already I explained. Okay. So usually using file input output operations, input output functions, such function sometimes returns null symbols if any error occurs in the corresponding operations. Okay, so this is also confirmation. Equal means actually equal operation, and exclamation plus equal means not equal operation, not logical operation. Okay? No, not logical, not operator. So in fact, only asterisk means logical not. Okay. So this is also I already explained. This function return null, file open error, and fget return null. The file is the end. Okay. So this is also I already explained. Using fopen function, you have to specify two arguments. The first argument is corresponding to the file name you want to actually open. And second argument is read-write mode. If you specified R string, this means the read. So using this function, the opened function is treated as a read file, okay, for enter data from the file. Contrary, if you specify the W means the write mode. So if you specify write string, open the file is treated as a write file. So this means you can enter any data into the file. So this also I already explained. You have to specify, you have to declare the file pointer always before using the fopen function. So this should show the actually explain the what happened in the previous program. As I explained before before executing this program, you have to prepare the text data like this. The contents are shown here. The 3 lines, and each line has a 3 string, name and birthday and address. Okay. So first using fget, if you can safely open the corresponding file, after that you can read one line using fget function. Okay. So in the physical memory of your computer, you are storing data of line variable. A line is a variable name. Okay. And this data, storing data, will be stored these areas in the physical memory. Okay. And after that, so I mistake. Please read of this as a scanf instead of fget. Using fscanf. No, scanf. Scanf. Using scanf, you can store each string data into separate physical areas. Okay, like this. So here I'd like to focus on the fget functions. You have a file, and such file has a mark line, a next line string in such a file. Using fget functions, you can read first line, this line, these characters. Okay, so as a result, in the physical memories, prepared data areas, character M, small a, r, k, and next line string will be stored. So this is important. So this function, fget function, returns the string data. As already explained, the end of string data should be just a moment. So anyway, this function puts the end of the actual string these symbols. This means the end of string. Usually this special character necessary. So this is more important. As I explained, you have to specify 3 arguments. The second argument is the size of the string. Actually, this function can read from the file. Okay. So if you specify 100, the data size, the element size of this array as you know, the string data is treated as an array data of character type. Okay? Such a data size should be less than 100. If no, that this function issued any errors. If you specify the size, element size of the string data line is 100, using get functions, you can read up to 99 characters. As I explained, the string data should have should have one special character at the end of a string. This. So the total is 100. So the result you can enter less than 100 up to 99. Okay? This is very important. So this also I already explained is a format string about format strings. Do you have any question? No? These are variables specified as a string data. Okay? So using %s as a code in the format string, you can treat these string data. For example, scan using scan functions. Any string data is stored in line variables. Using this format strings, you can get each string located in such a string and store each into corresponding variables, string type variable. Okay? The printf function is also same. So second program is a file copy program. So of course, the operating system provides any functionality for make a copy of a file. So however, using a C program language, you can make such a program, execution program. The content is as shown here. So make a copy of a file, you have to specify two file pointers. One is dedicated for input. The other one is for input and output. Okay? So in file and out file. First, using fopen functions, specify this function, a file name, and mode is a read. You can open corresponding file, and this function returns the file pointer. And such file pointer is stored in this variable. Such a variable value is null. In such a case, any error occurs. So the program will be will exit right away. Okay. After that, also you have to open another file, specified by this file name. The read-write mode is write. So because this file is treated as an output file, okay. So if the safely this function open the corresponding file, this function returns the file pointer. Otherwise, this function returns null. That means any error occurs. But before that, you can safely open the two files for input and for output. Input and output. Okay? And so very simple. The remain is only the file sentences. Once you read the one line using the fget function from input file. Okay? Reading unit is 100. And just output the same contents into output file using fput function. Okay? Very simple. And if the fget find the end of file, this function returns null string. Okay? So this case is the while loop will be exited. And finally, using fclose functions, you have to close the once opened file to file. Okay? So this case is you can use fget function. Fget and fput function. Instead of using fget and fput function, using fgetC and fputC, you can also make a program for copy operation. The different part is here, only this part. Okay? So using fget function, you can read any characters one by one, okay, from the corresponding input file. If this function finds the end of file, this function returns the EOF. This is also the special symbol treated as such a mark, end of file. Okay. So return value is not such a symbol. The fget returns safely the actual content of the file. And using fput function, you also such a character into a corresponding open file. Okay, so this case is using fget and fput, you can make a copy to file. One reading one character and writing one character one by one. Okay, so the content of the today is almost end. So the today's exercise as shown here, so please try to make a program. I already explained. So reading a text file. So once you have to prepare text file consisting of the 3 lines. Each line has a name, birthday, address. Using a text file, once you have to prepare such a contents as a text file and make a program to read such a content and output the first line the name part and third line the address part output on the computer screen. Okay, and after that, so two types. I introduced the 2 types of the copy file program. So you can choose one of them using fget fput function or using fputc and fgetc function. Please make one of them program and to check the execution result. Okay, so to explain at the beginning of this lecture, next week lecture will be cancelled. So I have to also introduce homework report. So this is third report, the final report, homework report. So as usual, please choose one of the prepared programs and make such program and execute to check the execution result. Okay. So as usual, please send your program by attaching to the email. Okay. And deadline, this is just a moment. I mistake. I have to change this date, so I didn't change. 2 weeks. 18日. So 17th. Okay. 17th better. So also 20th is no problem. Okay. I prepare several programs. The first program, actually here reads a file of several scores like this, and calculates the average, standard deviation, and maximum and minimum value. Okay. So some students already made a such program by keyboard input to prepare these data. So however, using file input output functions to calculate average, standard deviation, and maximum mean value of these data. Second program reads a file of several scores like this and display their histogram on a computer screen like this. Okay. The last week I prepared a similar program, the bar chart program. However, this bar chart is somehow different from such a program. So this histogram is the number of data corresponding to these values. Okay? So 65 correspond to this area, and the one asterisk should be added. So third program reads also file about the student name and the score. Student name and their score. And the program change the order in descending like this, and output the content into the file. Okay? So sorting program. Already you learned bubble sort programs. So please use such a bubble sorting algorithm. Fourth program reads also file of English text. English text consists of any alphabet. Okay? And this program calculates the total number of all characters and the number of each character. Okay? So other capital letter 26 character types. So this program have to calculate the number of each character. Okay? So of course you have to treat the capital letter and small letter. Okay? This is the example. Input file content are shown here. So this program output results like this. Small character and the number is a 5 and P is a 3. So final program read a file of also English text like this, and output the similar contents to the output file. However, as shown here, by changing a certain string into a different string. For example, path string PAD is located in this file. For example, here iPad path and also path. Using this program, the iPad will be changed into an iPod. Okay? So you can select any string, okay, for changing. So that's all. So do you have any question about the final homework report? No? So I also introduced one program about image processing. So in fact, I prepared the actual program. So select the content button, content tab. You can find this screen. And please scroll down to, and you can find 4 file. Okay. So this is an image file. The format type is PPM, portable pixel. Just a moment. Later I will explain. So one of the image formats data I already prepared. Okay. So the actual image is red and yellow and blue. I'm not sure. Like this. And these are actual program. So the difference is bin and ASCII. So in fact, this this means that portable pix map. This format are the two types, binary data type and ASCII data type. Okay? So in fact, this data prepared as binary data. So you can check, you cannot check the contents because the contents are binary data. So using this program, you can extract this part in one images. So this program output is also PPM file like this. The content is like this. This program find the red pixel. In this case, it's hiragana in Japanese is a red pixel. So this program output this PPM file. So actually, extracted PPM is a result file of this program. Okay. So anyway, please compile this program and execute the program to check the result. And I also prepared ASCII mode file. So originally, this program, this data is binary data. So however, using these functions, this program extracts the same image as shown here. However, this program outputs as a text file using this program. Okay. So if you output text file, you can check the contents using any text editor. This green. So original PPM file, the content is shown here. In Japanese, hiragana. Red character, green character, and blue character. Using the program, you can extract this pixel, these pixels correspond to the red pixel. Okay? Then you can, using that program, you can store this image data into a PPM file. So in a computer system, each pixel, can you understand pixel? Picture elements. It consists of 3 planes, red plane and green plane and blue plane. Okay? So for example, this is the most left and upper pixel. Okay? So you have to prepare these data into a file. For example, PPM format has this type of the structure, data structure. So this is a special symbol. That means a text file or a binary file. 6P means a text file. Text file. Sorry. 6P means binary, and 3P means ASCII. Okay. So the sharp string is a comment, treated comment, and you have to specify the size, width, and the height. In this case, 128, 128. Okay, and you have to specify the depth of each pixel. Okay, so for example, R value has maximum at 255. Okay, so I also prepared the explanation about the program. So please check the remaining contents in the next week or some time if you use here. Okay. So do you have any question? So please try to make a program, and please try to make a homework if you don't finish. Okay.